Hi everyone, welcome back to YouTube classes. It's Divya here with class 10 physics. So today we are going to discuss the second part of your section A. Already in the last video we have seen what is sound, audible range of frequency, ultrasonics, infrasonics, sonic range and all. Hope you all have gone through those portions. And today we are going to discuss about the second part, that is reflection of sound. Now, when you talk about the reflection of sound, you know reflection in case of light waves, isn't it? So, in case of sound also, sound will also reflect by large, hard, smooth, or far away surfaces. Okay, it can be a wall, building, cliff, whatever it is. Like light, sound will also reflect. But only condition for reflection of sound is that, see, whenever you are having sound is a vibration of particles, isn't it? So the condition to reflect is only this much. That is, the size of the reflecting surface must be larger than the wavelength of your sound wave. Okay, so the size of your reflecting surface should be bigger than that of the wavelength of your sound wave. Then, like your light wave, sound wave will also reflect. Now, this sound wave also obeys the law of reflection of light, that is, angle of incidence will be angle of reflection will be equal. Then, incident wave, reflected wave, normal lie on the same plane. Clear? So that is all about the reflection of sound. Now this reflection of sound, you are going to call it by a single name, echo. Okay? So you are very familiar with echoes. You might have heard sometime when you be in a evacuated room, not vacuum, evacuated room, you will hear your sound back, isn't it? Or you go to a hillside, and if you shout louder, sometimes you can hear your sound is coming back, or you, after your original sound is coming down, you can hear your sound again and again, isn't it? So that is reflection of sound, or in one word you can call it as echo. Now this is a figure to show you the reflected wave. You will be having the original wave produced from a center that will be in this direction, which you can see it in the red color. Now here this object is going to be your reflector. Okay, so where this sound waves will be going here, hits this object and it is going to reflect it back. That reflected wave you call it as echo. Okay, got it? Now, how you are going to define echo? The sound heard after reflection, after the original sound ceases, you call it as echo. Now, for an echo to happen, there should be two conditions. So, first condition is that for an echo to be heard distinctly, it should be, the time period should be a minimum of 0.1 second. Got it? Now the second condition is that the minimum distance between the object or the obstacle and the source of sound should be 17 meter. Now here you are having how you are getting that 17 meter. And here one thing you have to remember before going into that derivation for 17 meter, distance you are having speed into time. Isn't it? Now when you see here, the total distance is taken to be 2 times the. Now how will you define an echo? The sound heard after reflection is called echo, or if you come to more precisely, if you define the sound heard after reflection from a distant obstacle after the original sound ceases, you call it as echo. Now when you talk about this echo, there are two conditions for echo to be heard distinctly or more clearly. First condition for echo to be heard clearly is that the minimum time period for an echo to be minimum of 0.1 seconds. Okay, the time interval should be a minimum of 0.1 second. Now the second condition is that the distance between, or the minimum distance required to hear the echo is approximately 17 meter or 16.6 meter. You can round it off to 17 meter. Now let us see how you are going to calculate this 17 meter. Now before going into that, you already learned it from your very small classes. The distance is given by speed into time, isn't it? Now but when you look at here, you can see the distance is taken to be 2 times the distance between the observer and the obstacle or the rigid surface. Why? Because here the total distance traveled by the sound wave will be 2 times the distance between this. Why? Because that one distance full it is traveling towards the rigid surface. After reflecting, again the same distance it is traveling back to the observer. Then only you are hearing the echo, isn't it? That is why the distance here is taken to be 2 times the distance. Okay, 2d or 2x, whatever it is. Now this thing you have to remember when you do for your numericals also. Whatever numericals related to echo is given to you, make sure distance, if it is only given the distance between the observer and the obstacle, you have to take the distance to be 2 times the given distance. If it is given the distance is for hearing an echo, no need to multiply with 2. You use the numerical value given there. Make sure you read the question for your numerical properly. If only the distance between the two is given, take it as 2d. That is the only thing you have to remember. Now let us see how you are going to get this 17 meter or 16.6 meter. Now time, we have already told that the minimum time should be 0.1 second. Now this is the speed of sound in air, that is 332 meter per second. So that is the standard value for speed of sound in air. This value either it can be given in a question paper or this value should be by heart for you, like how you have learned the speed of light in vacuum 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Clear? So this value should be clear to you. Now you have the time, you have the speed, you can calculate the distance, isn't it? So here distance, instead of d or x, whatever it is, 2 times it will be. I told you the reason why. So when you calculate that, you will get approximately distance will be equal to 16.6 meter, or you can round it off to 17 meter. So these are the two conditions for echo to be heard distinctly. First condition, the minimum time interval should be 0.1 second and the minimum distance required for echo will be 17 meter. So mostly this is a question repeatedly asking for your board exam also. What are the conditions for echo to be heard distinctly? So this point you have to make it very clear. Now, see, if it is a reflection of a sound, you call it as echo. And if you are going to see it for more than 2 times or repeatedly, if you are going to hear it, you will call it using the name reverberation. Okay, you are going to call it with the name reverberation. Got it? Now, let us see what are the uses of echo. Now, this echo can be used in so many areas, means especially for animals or for your sonar or in your medical field. All these are being used so many times. See, what is the reason for this using this is that echo, see, this sound wave or usually ultrasonic waves are being used for this echo purposes or applications of echo. So why you are using this ultrasonic waves is that there are 3 reasons for that. First one is that, see, this ultrasonic waves, when you have already learned it in your spectrum chapter 6, isn't it? Due to the properties that ultrasonic waves, it can travel a long distance without any deviation. So ultrasonic, it can be confined to be a narrow beam, isn't it? And now the third important property you have learned it in your chapter 6 was that they will not get easily absorbed in any medium like other electromagnetic waves. So due to the speciality of this ultrasonic sounds, these ultrasonic sound and echo together, they are going to be used in so many applications. Naturally, they are available in animals like bat. How they are going to use is that, see, from bats, they are naturally producing ultrasonic waves. This ultrasonic waves will be moving forward produced, and if there is a prey or an obstacle in front of them, what happens? The ultrasonic waves produced from the body of the bat will get hit on that and it will get reflected, so that very easily they can identify there is something for them to eat in front of them, or there is some obstacle in front of them. Now the same thing with dolphins also. Okay, they will be able to identify some obstacles by producing these ultrasonic waves, and once if something in front of them, these waves will be reflecting back, and with that echo they can identify something else in front of them. Next important application of your ultrasound echo will be sonar. Sonar stands for sound navigation and ranging. Okay, now this sonar actually many a times it is being repeatedly there in your question paper. Remember one point, if the question is explanation for sonar, you can write accordingly how I am going to give you now, but one thing you have to keep it in your mind. Mostly first for one more question it can be asked, what is the principle behind sonar? So the principle behind sonar is echo. That is the answer you have to write, and then go for the explanation. Now the same thing, nothing in your sonar is mainly used in your submarines, isn't it? Now when you are having this, it is having a transducer and a detector. So this transducer or your center will be having ultrasonic pulses will be continuously emitted. So if there is some bottom of the sea icebergs or some other submarines, means some enemy countries will be having some submarines under that, so automatically what happens, this ultrasound pulses will be or waves will be reflected back and it will be detected by the detector. So if you know the distance between these and you can calculate it, isn't it? They will be easily able to calculate the distance out of this time taken for this echo to go and come back to the detector. The time will be recorded there. So the speed of sound waves in water will be a standard value. With that they can very easily calculate it. Within this distance they are having some obstacles, either it can be a iceberg or it can be the bottom of the seabed you can have, or maybe sometimes your submarine, other submarine enemies you are having under the bottom of the sea. That is how they are going to detect it. Now apart from all these, another application you are having is in the medical field, that is very familiar to you, that is for imaging your human organs, isn't it? Ultrasonic waves used for imaging the human organs, that you call it as ultrasonography, isn't it? Ultrasonography. And similarly echocardiography is also used in case if you are having some problem related to your heart. So these are all the applications for your echo. Now this is all with your reflection of waves, echoes and its applications. Now read your textbook properly and start with your exercises. Complete your section A part exercises, and you are having a few numericals in that. You can try with that numericals and try to find out the answers. I'll solve it in the next class, and then you can compare it with your answers which you have already done. Clear? So let us wind up for today. Thank you. Stay safe.